Hello friends, welcome in today's lecture. Today we will start our fourth chapter, that is networking basics. This chapter having 10 marks. First see what are the contents of the networking basics chapter. There total 7 points is there. First point is socket overview. In that we will see what is the client server, what is the receiver server socket, what is the proxy server, and what is the use of the internet addressing. Second point, in that we will see Java and .NET classes, means networking classes and interfaces. Third point is INET address. In that we will study about factory methods and instance methods. Then fourth point is TCP/IP client sockets. Fifth point is URL. In that we will study what the format of the URL and URL classes. Sixth point is URL connection. In that we will see TCP/IP server socket. And seventh point is datagram. It is nothing but the UDP, means connectionless communication. In that we will see datagram packet and datagram server and client. The networking basics chapter is totally depend on the communication between the networks, and in that the main 2 points is there. One is TCP/IP, means connection oriented communication between the network, and second is UDP. It is nothing but the connectionless communication between the networks. See the first point, what is the socket overview. In that we will discuss client server, reserved socket, proxy servers, and internet addressing. One thing is there, for the networking, Java.NET package is used in the program. Means this chapter contains the classes and interfaces of Java.NET package and which provides the supports for the networking. So in this chapter we will briefly study about the overview of the socket, reserved socket, proxy server, internet addressing, INET classes, URL connection classes, datagrams, and TCP/IP socket classes. So the working of the network sockets require the IP and TCP or UDP protocol. Means when you communicate with the two networks, that time we require the connection between the two networks, and the connection is depends on the TCP or UDP. TCP means connection oriented network and UDP means connectionless protocol. First see what is the socket. A socket is the most commonly used terms in the network programming. Socket provides the way by which the computer can communicate with the connection oriented or connectionless communication. Means using the socket, the computers communicate with the two networks using the connection oriented or connectionless communication. So socket means a socket is basically an endpoint of a two-way communication link between the two programs running on the network. So the definition of the socket is, a socket is basically an endpoint of a two-way communication link between the two programs running on the network. It is OS controlled interface into which the applications can send or receive the messages to and from another applications. Means using the socket, the application can send or receive the messages from the one network to the another networks. And the Java.NET socket class represents the socket. There are two key classes are used to create a socket. First is server socket and second is socket. The server program creates a specific type of a socket that is used to listen a client request. So in that case, a connection request, the program creates a new socket through which it will be exchange the data with the client using the input and output stream. Means when you exchange the data, that time we use the input and output stream. The server socket class can be created with the help of the port number, and socket object can be created with the help of the host name and port number. Means server socket and socket, these two are the classes that is used to create a socket, and at the time of to create a server socket, that time use the port number, and for the socket object can be created with the help of the host name and port number. So socket is basically provides the two-way communication link between the two programs running on the network. So this chapter depends on the totally networking. So when you perform any program related to the networking, that time your PC or computer should be in a network. Then and then your program will be executed successfully. Next, see what is the client server. In the client server communication, there are three components, that is client PC or web client, second is an application server or web server, and third is database server. Means for the client server communication, it depends the three components. First, client PC or the client, second is application server or web server, and third is a database server. See the diagram. This diagram shows the client server communication. First component is client PC, second is application server, and third is database server. First step is client PC or web client submit the request for desired web pages to the web server. So first client PC submit the request to the application server or web server. Then the work of the server is to distribute among the application server and database server. Application server processes the required communication function. Means the use of the application server is to distribute the data among the application server and the database servers, and application server processes the required communication functions. The data required by the any database server, so all data required to the application server are present in the database server, and the required data is returned to the application server. Means that in the database server all the data is present, and that data is returned to the application server. The web server or application server prepare the response page and send it to the web client. So when the returns the data required from the database server, the application after that returns the required output to the client PC or the web client. So this diagram shows the client server communication. In the client server communication, three component is used or present. First is client PC, second is application server, and third is database server. Next, see what is the reserved sockets. In network programming, the port is medium through which one application establishes a connection with the other application by binding the socket using the port number. Means in the networking, the port number is used for establish a connection between the two networks. So in the network programming, the port number is very important, in which one application establish a connection with the other application by binding a socket using the port number. With the help of the port number and some additional information, data is transferred from the client to the server or from server to the client. Means when you transfer any information from client to server or server to client, that time we must need to port, the port number. There are some ports which are reserved for a specific service, and this port is called as a reserved port. Means so many port numbers are there, but some ports are specially reserved for a specific service, and this port number is called as a reserved port. See here, the various port number specifying their services are given in the following table. Means this table shows the port number of the specific reserved port. For example, the port number 21 is reserved for the FTP, that is File Transfer Protocol. Port number 22 is basically used for the Telnet. Port number 25 is used for the Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, that is nothing but the SMTP. Port number 80 is reserved for the Hypertext Transfer Protocol, that is HTTP. Port number 110 is reserved for the Post Office Protocol V3, that is POP3. Port number 119 is reserved for the Network News Protocol, that is NNTP. And port number 162, that is Simple Network Management Protocol, that is SNMP. So these port number are reserved for the particular services. So the port is very important, means port number is very important to communicate or establish a connection between the two networks. So with the help of the port number, the data is transferred from the client to the server or server to the client. Next, see what is the use of the proxy server. A proxy server is a server that sits between a client application and a real server. It intercepts all the requests to the real server to see if it can be fulfill the request itself. If not, it forwards the request to the real server. Means in the proxy server, first client application is there and second is real server, and it checks that if all the requests to the real server to see if it can be fulfill the request itself. If it fulfill, then it's okay. If it not will be fulfilled, then if it forward the request to the real server. See, what is the purpose of the having a proxy server? There are two purposes. First is it improves the performance, and second is it provides the security and privacy. First is it improves the performance by catching the information. Means using the proxy server, it improves the performance, and by performance increases by catching the information. For example, see, this is one example. Suppose there are two users, that is a user X and user Y. These two users access the World Wide Web through the proxy server. First, user X requests a certain web pages, which will be a page 1. Sometime later, user Y requests some pages. Instead of forwarding the request to the web server where the page 1 is resides, which can be a time consuming operation. So the proxy server simply returns the page 1 that is already fetched for the user 1, that is a X. Since the proxy server is often the same network as the user, and this is a much faster operation. Means this is the first client, that is a user X and user Y. User X want to access the World Wide Web page 1, that page present in the server. Then first fetch into the proxy server and send it to the user X, and after that at the same time user Y want to the same page. That time, instead of forwarding the request to the web server where the page 1 is reside, it is too much time consuming. So the proxy server simply returns the same page that present in the proxy server to the user Y. So it's much faster operations, means overall operation having minimum time. So this is the working of the proxy server. So the proxy server is nothing but a server that sits between the client application and the real server. Means proxy server present in the middle between the client application and the real server. So proxy server intercepts all the requests to the real server to see if it is fulfill the request or not, and if it is fulfilled then it's okay, and if it's not fulfilled then it forward the request to the real server. See the next purpose is it provides the security and privacy. So the proxy server provides the security and privacy because it prevents the client to access the sensitive information directly from the server. So this provides the security and privacy. See the next point is internet addressing. Every computer or internet has an address, means every computer having a one address, and this is called as the IP address or the internet protocol address. There are two internet addressing scheme available currently. First one is consisting 32-bit value, that is IPv4, and second is consisting 128-bit values called as the IPv6. These two are the internet addressing scheme. Obviously the IPv6 is advantageous than the IPv4, means IPv6 supports the larger address space than the IPv4. In current network world, IPv4 is most widely used scheme. Internet addressing is a unique 32-bit logical address, means INET address is the 32-bit logical address, and it is sequence for the 4 members or byte between the 0 to 255 and separated by the dots. Internet address is divided into the two main parts, that is the network number and the host number. There are total 5 classes based on the category, that is class A, class B, class C, class D and class E. These are the 5 network classes. The range of the class A is 0.0.0.0 to 127.255.255.255. This class is very few large organization use this class addressing, means very few large organizations uses this class A addressing, and the leftmost bit is always 0 for the class A. The first 8 bit defines the network number and remaining 24 bit defines the host number, means the internet address is divided into the two main part, network number and host number, or network ID and host ID. The class A, in that the first 8 bit defines the net ID and last 24 bit defines the host ID. Next see the class B. The class B having the range is 128.0.0.0 to 191.255.255.255. This class B, medium size organization use the class B addressing, and in that the net ID is defined by the first 16 bit and the last 16 bit is nothing but the host ID. Third class is class C, having the range 192.0.0.0 to 223.255.255.255. This class C is relatively used in a small organization, and in that first 24 bit defines the net ID, that is a network number, and remaining 8 bit defines the host ID. The class D having the range 224.0.0.0 to 239.255.255.255. The class D address is used for the multicast program, means multicast groups, and there is a no net ID or the host ID. So for the class D there is no net ID or host ID, and specially the class D is used for the multicasting. Next class is class E. The class E having the range is 239.0.0.0 to 255.255.255.255. This class E is used for or reserved for the experimental purpose. Specially, this class E reserved for the special use on internet. And same for the class D, there is a no net ID or the host ID. These 5 are the networking classes. So every computer on a network has an address, and this address is called as a IP address or the Internet Protocol address. And this is a unique 32-bit logical address divided into the two parts, that is a network number and the host number. This all about in the socket overview. The next point is Java and .NET. In that we will see networking classes and interfaces. The Java.NET package provides the huge library of classes and interfaces that are used for creating a networked application. Means for creating a network application we use the Java.NET package, and in that Java.NET package provides a huge library of classes and interfaces. So in this point we will see the networking classes and interfaces. See the table. This table shows the networking classes. All these are the networking classes. These classes are present in the Java.NET library or package. In that, out of this all these classes, we'll see some important classes that are used in the programming. See the class content handler. This class is used for read the data from a class URL connection. Second class is datagram socket. This class represents the datagram sockets. That is, datagram socket is nothing but the UDP. Datagram packet class is used to represent the datagram packet. INET address class is used to represent the IP address. INET socket address class is used is nothing but the IP socket address is a combination of the IP address and the port number. To implement such IP socket address, this class is used. Second class is last server socket, and this class is used for implementing the server side socket, and for that purpose the server socket class is useful. Socket class. Socket class is used for implementing the client side socket. Socket address class. This class helps to represent the socket address without the specification of the protocol. URL class. This class is used for creating a reference of the uniform resource locator, that is nothing but the URL which points to the www. Is nothing but the URL. URI, Uniform Resource Identifier. This class provides the object of the Uniform Resource Identifier. And last class is URL connection. For establishing a connection between the application program and the URL, this class is used. So these classes are used in the programming. Means these classes are more useful in the program. And this table shows the classes that present in the java.net package, and out of that these all the classes are mainly or mostly used in the programming. Next, see the interfaces. There are three interfaces are mostly used for networking programming, that is Content Handler Factory Interface, Socket IMPL Factory Interface, and URL Stream Handler Factory Interface. First, see Content Handler Factory Interface. This interface is for defining the factory for content handler. Second, Socket IMPL Factory. This interface is for defining the factory for the implementing the sockets. And third is URL Stream Handler Factory. For implementing the URL Stream Protocol handler, the factory can be defined by this interface, that is URL Stream Handler Factory. So these three interfaces are mostly used in the networking programming, and these interfaces use java.net package. So the java.net package is for providing a useful classes and interfaces for networking application which are used in the socket and URL. So in this lecture we will study what is the socket, means overview of the socket, interfaces and classes, also what is the proxy server, reserved socket and client server. In the next lecture we will see what is the INET address, and in that we will study what is the factory methods and instance methods.